Hello everyone, I am Atharv. This presentation has been made by Shweta and me. We are both Electronica core members from IIT Hyderabad. So in this video, we shall see about electric vehicles, what are the different types of electric vehicles and what are the components that make an electric vehicle. So without any further ado, let's get started. What is an electric vehicle? I guess most of you probably know the answer. An electric vehicle or EV is a vehicle that is powered partially or completely by electric power. Instead of a traditional IC engine which is used in most cars, EVs use electric motors for propulsion. The motor is powered by a battery pack present in the vehicle. EVs are used in all modes of transport like road, rail, aircrafts, drones, etc. In this video, we shall focus more on electric cars. What are the advantages of electric vehicles? Well, EVs have many advantages, but I've just listed a few points. They don't produce any harmful or greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, so they have a huge role to play in reducing global warming. They are far more energy efficient when compared to traditional vehicles. They're very quiet and hardly produce any noise while moving. The drivetrain is fairly simple and hence requires less maintenance. There are many kinds of EVs, so let's have a look at them one by one. The first type is a battery electric vehicle. It is a 100% electric vehicle run only by a rechargeable battery pack. Also, since it doesn't release any harmful gases, it's a zero emission vehicle. The next type is a hybrid electric vehicle or an HEV. As the name suggests, it has two complementary drive mechanisms, a fuel tank with an engine and a battery pack with a motor. The vehicle starts with the help of the electric motor and then it switches out to the fuel engine. An important point to note here is that it can't be plugged into charge. The battery is charged by the fuel and regenerative braking. We shall see more about regenerative braking in the upcoming slides. The next type is a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle or a PHEV. It is very similar to a hybrid electric vehicle. The only major difference being that a PHEV can be plugged in to charge. They also tend to have a higher all-electric range, as in that they can travel a considerable distance with the help of the electric motor and a battery. In contrast to a HEV, which can hardly travel a couple of kilometers at lower speeds with the help of the electric motor and battery. The next type is a fuel cell electric vehicle. It is powered by hydrogen, which reacts with oxygen to provide the required electricity. The only major emission is water vapor. It is still in development phase and required infrastructure is being built up in Western countries. It is very similar to a battery electric vehicle, with the only difference being that a battery here is replaced with hydrogen which provides the electricity required. Plug-in hybrids tend to have a higher range than hybrid vehicles, which in turn have a higher range than battery electric vehicles. This just summarizes what we have been discussing so far. Moving on, let's see about the major components that are actually involved in making the EV. This list is not exhaustive, but we'll try to have a brief understanding of each of these components. This image here shows the structure of an all-electric or a battery vehicle. We can see the battery pack, the traction motor, power electronics controller, a DC-DC converter, a thermal cooling system, an auxiliary battery, onboard charger, transmission and charging port are present. The hybrid electric vehicle and the plug-in hybrid electric vehicle is very similar to the battery electric vehicle, with the only major difference being the fuel tank and the internal combustion engine. As we can clearly see, there is a charging port in the PHEV, while there was none in the HEV. Now let us discuss about the electric motor. The electric motor along with the battery forms the two main components which replace the internal combustion engine and the fuel tank. The main function of the motor is to drive the vehicle and supplied with current. The motors used in electric vehicles should have certain characteristics like a high starting torque, high power density and good efficiency. The most preferred types of motors are brushless DC motors, permanent magnet synchronous motors and induction motors. The brushless DC motors runs on DC current, whereas the PMSM and the induction motor run on AC current. All the above types of motors are used in the industry in different ways and they have their own advantages and disadvantages. Most motors are also used as generators. When the electric motor or generator is driven mechanically, it supplies electric energy as an alternator, which is in turn used to charge up the battery. This fact is exploited during regenerative braking. Electric motors reach their maximum torque at lower RPM in contrast to conventional IC engines which reach their maximum torque at comparatively higher RPMs. The electric motors start automatically and they do not need a separate starter motor, which is required in traditional IC vehicles. The direction of a vehicle can easily be controlled by rotating the motor either in clockwise or anti-clockwise direction. Battery pack. The battery pack is made up of hundreds of secondary cells arranged in series of parallel connections in order to provide a suitable voltage and a power rating. We know that when a bunch of these cells are arranged in series, their effective voltage increases, whereas when these cells are connected in parallel, the effective power rating increases. Since each of these secondary cells are rechargeable, the entire battery pack is easily rechargeable. Since most modern EVs use AC motors, an inverter is used to convert the DC voltage to an AC voltage. Lithium-ion batteries are the most preferred types of batteries that are used in electric vehicles. Since they have high energy density, they take up much lesser space. A battery management system is required for electrical and thermal management. It prevents individual cells from overcharging and overheating. Inverter. It is also known as a transducer or a DC-AC converter. As discussed in the previous slide, it converts the DC voltage from the battery into an AC voltage which can be used to run the motor. It can also do the reverse by converting the AC voltage into a DC voltage. Power control unit. The controller acts as a regulator of electrical energy from the battery and the inverter that will be distributed to the motor. The controller gets input from the pedal and will vary the frequency and voltage of the signal that will enter the motor, which will decide the revolution speed of the motor, which will in turn decide how fast or slow the vehicle moves. In a way, it acts like the brain of the vehicle. Transmission. The transmission transfers the mechanical energy from the motor to drive the wheels. A gear helps in reduction of the speed coming from the motor. Now, unlike traditional vehicles which have multiple gears which help in changing the speed of the vehicle, an electric vehicle has only a single gear. The speed of the vehicle is completely dependent on the RPM of this motor. A differential is used to provide different speeds to different wheels of the vehicle, which in turn helps us in moving left or right. Braking. Most electric cars have two types of braking systems. One is a traditional hydraulic braking system and the other is called a regenerative braking. In regenerative braking, the energy lost during braking and deceleration is recovered and fed into the battery. This braking system reduces wear and tear significantly and it contributes heavily to the efficiency of the EV in cities where there is heavy traffic and we need to apply the brakes frequently. In any case, if the regenerative braking fails, the hydraulic system comes into play. Other important components or subsystems. Auxiliary battery. It is used to power vehicle accessories like interior lights, headlights, cooling, etc. DC-DC converter. It converts high voltage supply from the battery into a corresponding lower voltage for charging the auxiliary battery. Thermal cooling system. The system maintains proper operating temperature for electric motor and other components. Onboard charger. The onboard charger helps in charging the battery. In case there is an AC input, it converts it to DC and sends it to the battery management system. In case DC power supplied, the OBC is bypassed and power is sent to the BMS. Now, since we have a brief idea about how these components work, let's see how they interact among themselves. This flowchart is quite self-explanatory. Depending on the input from the brake and accelerator pedals, the controller will send signals to the battery through the energy management system. The battery will now send current to the motor through the power converter and the motor will start rotating. The mechanical energy of the motor will be transferred onto the wheels through the transmission. The energy management system will also tell the battery to supply current or voltage to the auxiliary battery. This will be used for the heater, cooling, steering and other vehicle accessories. Energy management system also keeps track of the battery charge. In case it is too less, it will tell the user to charge the battery through the battery charger. This is just a brief outline of how all these components work together. Now, I hope with the help of this video, you have some basic idea about how an electric vehicle works.